Hello, my dear one. Today I want to offer you one super useful perspective, something to contemplate on and practice that will deeply support you in running your business as a magician, i.e., profoundly shifting your productivity, creativity, results, and everything that comes with it. But to get there, I've got to ask you first, when was the last time you were in a state of flow, however you call it, in the zone, in your groove, in complete flow? When was the last time you were there? And how often does it happen to you? How often and how much do you spend in a state of flow? The reason why I'm asking you this is because, of course, flow is that magical state where, well, according to studies, according to one 10-year-old study, our productivity, executives that are in the flow state, their productivity is at least 500% bigger than normally. So that's worth something, right? So we know what it feels like when we're completely lost in a process and we're just in the zone. So, but there is a difference between falling in there randomly and occasionally and being there in the zone almost by default. This is what I call the magician consciousness or state of miraculum. Now, here is one thing I want you to hear. Degree of the flow and frequency of the flow is very much influenced by how much you're able to decode your magician energy or magician consciousness and soothe and alchemize lower archetypes. Let me explain. So magician consciousness is nothing woo-woo, nothing mysterious. We all have it, as in we all have that place within ourselves. It's a state of being. It's inner genius, if you like. It's where the flow comes from. It's where the best ideas comes from. It's where the clarity comes from. It's where everything just flows, absolutely flows. And that state of being, if we all have it, it's the highest state of consciousness, highest level of consciousness. And of course, the ability to embody that level of consciousness very much depends how much we've already integrated the lower frequency energetic patterns which we might or might not be aware of. For instance, victim archetypes. So for instance, whether we know about it or not, if we feel powerless, if we feel like life is working against us, if we looking for cause outside of us, etc., etc. So the victim archetype patterns, they create like a cloud, which of course we're not able to translate that magician consciousness. Those two just can't go together. So any lower mind archetypes, patterns are worth revisiting when we want to run the business more as magician. I mean, this is why I love short-term containers, but really to become a magician fully requires methodological, deep, energetic work and translation of that energy work into every aspect of business and life. So it's not like this, okay? But there is something you can do and everyone can do today, and we can really start harvest this or foster this ability to translate more and more of magician consciousness. And that is this. There is one lower mind archetype that is almost like a polar opposite of magician consciousness, and that is our logician or saboteur, if you like. The aspect of our being that its prime function is to protect our current sense of identity, who we are today. So it's that self-talk that you get 2 minutes after you make some profound and important decision for your future, and it will be like, yup, you shouldn't have done that, you're going to lose everything, it's too risky. Or maybe it happens before you make the decision, or maybe you talk yourself out so quickly out of making some aligned choices with that magician and with that vision of yours that you don't even experience it. I don't know, but it's that aspect of ourselves that wants to keep us where we are because it wants to keep us safe. And I call this aspect of ourselves logician, because it really uses our logic as that fighting mechanism to discourage you from taking those next steps, etc., etc. So it's very convincing. And this consciousness, logician consciousness, it's in direct opposite of magician consciousness. Logician consciousness, it's pure logic. It's what I can see with my eyes. So, you will sometimes tell yourself, I can't do that. I mean, I would love to do that, but I can't do that because if I look at my past, if I look at yesterday, if I look at the trends, no, I can't do that. So it uses what you can actually see, what you can verify with your senses, logic, data, trends, etc., etc. Magician consciousness is complete opposite. It's going beyond the higher intelligence, which goes way beyond the logic, way beyond the logic. So they work in the direct opposite to each other. So our ability to then decode magician energy and embody magician energy and that let it seek through and work its magic through every aspect of our business, whether it's marketing, whether it's next strategy for your business, whether it's sales, whether it's how you deliver your services, how you create them, how you scaling strategies, how you build team. That's very much influenced how much you're able to soothe and work with your logician, soothe your human senses, soothe the logic, be aware of it. So again, it might be a process, might not be done in a day, but this is the thing and the perspective I want to offer you for today. One major difference between magician consciousness and a logician consciousness, and it's this. As a logician, we always look at the cause at logical level and at level of the senses, 3D, what we can see. So, for instance, if you're currently or at some point experiencing lack of sales, let's say, the human logic, the logician in us, will look at the causes that are available to us by what we see, what we understand. At the 3D, this physical level. So you might tell yourself something, I'm wondering why my sales are so low. It might be because it's August, people are on holidays. And so people are not buying that much. It might be because somebody else is doing it and they have got, more experience. They may be doing it for cheaper. It might be because I don't know how to sell properly. It might be because, and you can drive yourself crazy, but you get the examples. It's at a level, like why is it? Why are my sales low right now? Is something, we look at the cause at the logical level and what we can verify with our senses, often outside of ourselves or inside of ourselves. Magician consciousness, magician in you never ever thinks like that. Never ever thinks like that. Magician in you knows that cause of everything, including, let's say, current limitation, current problem, current challenge, current, what I used as an example, my sales are low, are never ever in physicality. It's never because it's August. It's never because I attract this type of clients. It's never because of, I don't know how to say. It's never, cause it's never, ever in physicality and what my eyes can see. The cause of that is always within my energy. Always within my energy. It's essentially right now I'm reflecting myself through this experience. Example I used, lack of sales. I'm experiencing myself as such, so to support me in something, in the growth, in using it as the growth opportunity. That's essentially a reflection of my energy. It's reflection of my energy. It's never ever. The cause is never nothing else, but it's a reflection of my energy. Some of you know this. And there is also a little, I want to pinpoint a little danger in this thinking, because many of you already are evolved well enough to know that, sure, I don't create circumstances, or circumstances don't create themselves by environment or by circumstances, etc., etc. It's always reflection of my energy. But what can happen, we can become a victim of that, because I've seen it again and again and again when, okay, so using same example, my sales are low, so I know it's reflection of my energy, so it's me, so what is it in me? Oh, and I'm not, it's, oh yeah, I'm not ready to sell, I'm doing something wrong, and I'm still not aligned, and I need to do lots of energetic work, so I'll go on months and months of energetic work again and again. That's also not the healthiest approach to it, and that's also not the magician consciousness. That's a victim, that's being a victim to energy work. Sorry, okay? So here is a shift that I would like to offer you here. Yes, absolutely. If you're looking at the cause of a good thing or a bad thing, but typically we're looking for a cause of what we consider a bad thing, a challenge, a limit, whatever, some circumstance, situation in your life, situation in your business, situation with your client, some pattern in your business. Sure, when your mind is going like, it might be because of it's because of that or that or that, something I can see. Stop yourself, absolutely stop yourself, because it's not the why, it's not the cause, it's how. It's how the universe within you find a way to mirror you. That's just the way that mirroring happens. It will find the some least path of resistance, so it can happen in a million ways. So just because it's, I don't know, you didn't write something properly or didn't write a good email or whatever, that might be just the how it happened. That's never why, that's never the cause. That's never the cause. The cause is, sure, it's me, it's my energy, I'm mirroring, I'm experiencing myself through this. But here is what you'll do, so you do not fall into victim consciousness, but instead you're going to foster magician consciousness. And this is what you'll do. When you notice something is not happening in your favor, or a limitation in your business, whatever, you'll say, how interesting, how interesting, how interesting I created this. Thank you, because it's going to help me. So this is the first thing I want you to practice, please, to get to that place of acknowledgement and gratitude. Yes, for blinking limitation, because we as people, as CEOs, as entrepreneurs, we perceive it as a heck, limitation, challenge, blah, blah, blah. But it's not. It's always a nodding point that will help us, to recognize ourselves and tweak whatever in our energy that will help us to grow, that will help us to the next breakthrough, that will help us. It's always some form of gift. So first thing you practice with these challenges and to foster magician consciousness, how interesting I created this with my energy. Thank you, because I know there is some gift in this. And the secondly, once you feel that gratitude and recognition, it's my energy, I'm experiencing like this, then you can go into, okay, I know there is a reason for this and purpose for this. Reason, I'm going to learn something from it, and purpose, it's something to do that is essentially helping me in the future. Do I know what it is right now? Might not. You might intuitively know what is it. Maybe I'm invited to let go of something and welcome something else, something in you. Oh, okay. You might immediately, intuitively know, oh, okay. That's because I overextended myself here, overgave myself here. I went into my prostitute slave girl archetype. So this is the result. So maybe it's time to break that pattern and let go. Strengthen my queen archetype. Maybe that's the gift. So I could recognize it and do something about it. Change that pattern in me. Maybe that's it. Now, this is just one example. It could be a million different ones. So sometimes you will intuitively know the reason and purpose. What is that energetic why? What is that inside of you? But you know what? If you don't know, it's fine. It'll come to you in the right time. So enough is, how interesting. how interesting that I created this. Thank you, because I know it's some amazing gift in here. Process is not finished. I'm always living. I'm always evolving. I'm gonna run my business for a while because I love it. So this is part of it. And there is a gift in there. There is some reason, some purpose for it. There is maybe invitation to let go or invitation to welcome something. What is it? I know. If not, it'll come to me. So thank you. Thank you. And that's the starting point to welcoming more and more of magician consciousness, because when you are able to translate the energy of your inner magician, you will more and more like live as a magician. That's why it's like a process. You call in more and more and more, or decode, if you like, call in your body more and more of that energy. This is the starting point. Okay. Now Tina is asking, what to do a course with you? Where do I start? Go to my bio. There is a link for Miraculum. We'll have another year-long program starting in September. So have a look. There is an information page about it. Mastermind is happening in February. This is Business Leaders Mastermind. So these are the two ways to work with me currently. So you can ask me about it as well. But this is the starting point. This is the starting point. Because then we don't need to really worry about, oh my God, I want to be in flow and I want flow. Because you will be freaking flow. You will be a flow. You will be a magician. So that's my huge passion for you. You know, that's desire for you, and my life's work to help you there. So let's start here. Okay, if you don't get this nailed, let's start here. So you never ever need to look for causes in physicality. That's your how. That's your how. That's so secondary. So secondary. I'm not saying it's not important. I'll just make one more disclaimer here, because sometimes we can take things out of context. It's not to say don't learn how to sell. Don't learn how to market. Don't learn. It's not to say it. It's not to say it. You know, when we learn things and when we practice things, we're really able to, there's so much in our logical mind that our magician, if you like, or our higher self can really have got lots of data to catch on and communicate. So it's very useful, but it's how we use it, that learning, that practice, that really matters. So when you look for causes, when you look to improve things, grow things, expand things, sell things, you've got to work on shifting your modus operandi first and foremost. That's your energetic self. You've got to bring that to magician, not the how. It's very much secondary, because the how will come from that, from that shift. Okay, so that's just a little disclaimer at the end, so you don't think that Lenka is encouraging you all screw the strategy, screw learning entrepreneurial skills. That's not what I meant. Okie dokie. All right, that's all. A quickie. Lovely to see you all here. So much love to you, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.